well, maybe I should check the guys coming into my houses, right? So in 2006, we really started vetting these smaller vendors that are going into your homes. And what we found is we really need to make sure we use contractors that vet their employees because a lot of places, like a lot of other Angie's List or whatever directories, they might do a background check on like the owner, but the people
Hmm.
coming into your home around your tenants,
Right, right.
it's a whole nother
Tell,
story,
tell
you
your
know?
story, man. I think that's important. What happened, if you don't mind?
Well, I came out of the garage one morning, just an average morning, and got into my car, pulled down my driveway, and my landscaper was had a kind of an extended chainsaw, and he was cutting the trees up above. And I rolled down my window. Been my landscaper for about 6 months. He bought my friend's company. My friend was a school teacher and had a landscape company on the side. He's like, it's getting too big for me, so he sold it to this guy. He says, "Hey, just stick with this guy. He's really good."
Hmm.
And so I don't want to say became part of the family, but I mean, he was around our home doing landscaping. He'd go in the fridge, get a water. He'd talk to my, I
Wow.
mean, and nice guy, but like
Hmm.
really nice guy. And so one morning I come out and I said, "Hey, good morning. How you doing?" He says, "When are you giving me a raise?" And I said, "Well, wait a minute. You're a contractor. You just tell me your
You're right.
price.
You know,
Yeah, your rate, your price, and I'll tell you whether I'm
pay
gonna
or not.
pay."
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how
Yeah.
it works. And he says, "You cheap MFer." And so I got out of my car, left my door open, and he kind of brings this extended chainsaw down, and I'm like, "Hey man, what's the problem today?" And he's like, "Listen, I've been working," and he just starts going off on me. Well, I'm far enough away that if he swings this extended like
Chainsaw.
tree chainsaw, right? I'm going to take the bar, not the blade, right? So
Right, right.
I kind of step in closer to him, and I think he sees that as
A threat.
a threat,
Hmm.
like, "Oh, you're muscling up to me." And no, I'm actually getting away from
Right,
that
right.
blade, right? And so he takes that bar, if you can picture it, has it in both hands. He kind of hits me across the chest, flat with the bar,
Hmm.
and kind of sends me back. And I go to my house. I said, "Honey, stay in the house until I tell you." And I come back out. I know I got to get in my car. My door's open. My car's on
Yeah.
at the end of the driveway. And I'm like, okay. He's berating me all the way down the driveway. Not to be overly dramatic about this, but when I get in my car and I pull out and I realize I'm safe, I look through the rearview mirror and he's kind of like doing this Star Wars. He's got it up above his head, kind of like. So I'm pretty shaken up at this point, right? And I'm like, how did that go so south? Like, I just came out, good morning, like it was a
Right,
normal
right.
thing. Well, here's what I found out. 6 months prior, he got out of prison, okay, for selling methamphetamine.
Hmm.
Okay. He got out, he went to a church where my friend was part of, and my friend wanted to help him out. Like, "Hey, I want to help this guy out. He's getting out of prison. Let's give him a job." And he did really well for 6 months. I mean, I think he did really well. But the night before, now I find all this out because I go do the background check, right?
Right, right.
But the night before he came to my house, his wife served him with a divorce, right? So he goes back to the crystal meth. He goes back to the escape, and now I have wild man, in
Hmm.
front of my house. And all day long, and as an entrepreneur myself, all day long, I'm like, why am I protecting all these landlords, which I love, but I'm not protecting the ones I love in my house? So we went off and started really marketing backgrounds to smaller in-home service providers. We actually get a deal with Cox Communications. They have a murder in Tempe back in the late 2000s, and we ended up doing Cox Contractors, and this company kind of blows up.
Hmm.
And we kind of, I mean, it went in a really cool direction, but not what we originally started it
Right,
to
right.
do. So we've always wanted to pull back and come back and say, "Hey, we want to do the smaller contractor." But we not only want to do their background, we want to put them in front of clients. We want to raise them up and say, "These are the guys you guys should use. These are the responsible vendors, right? These are the guys who care about who they're sending into your home around your tenants or around your family."